Good evening, Brian. It's March. Sorry about that. Both of us got sort of bad about posting vlogs over the holidays, and I know that you posted one about a month ago or so, and I have not posted one since then, so sorry about that. But here I am. Happy 2018, Brian. This is the first vlog I think I've done in 2018. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's been an interesting year so far. I'm going to spend this vlog talking a little bit about some of the things that I'm trying to do this year, and other just things that I'm trying to do that are sort of personal projects right now. These aren't sort of resolutions for 2018, but they're things that that I'm just trying to get better at. So they're in the same ballpark as resolutions. So the first thing is I'm trying to be more intentional with the way that I spend my free time. As I'm sure I've mentioned here time and time again, one of the things that I've been trying to do is use less of my free time mindlessly surfing the internet. And I think that is a really important thing. I can't remember which podcast it was, but I listened to a podcast recently that was talking about that. I think it was Reconcilable Differences, maybe on Relay FM. I'm not sure. If you're interested, I could find it. But one of the topics that we're talking about was the idea of letting, doing things intentionally. And, if you're purposefully using things like social media, that's one thing. But if you're just letting it, no, I think it was Stuff to Blow Your Mind. That's what it was. But if you're just sort of letting it consume you and mindlessly doing it, it's not really a good way to spend your time. You're not doing things that you enjoy, and it's just sort of a waste of what is a very finite resource. Your time and your attention is pretty much one of the most important resources we have. You work at a job so that you can earn enough money to be able to then have free time as well and still support your basic needs. And during that free time, you can give your attention to the things that you want. And so if during part of that limited free time, I'm not making intentional decisions, I'm sort of letting myself be tricked into wasting an hour surfing through a social media stream, that's not very good. So I've been trying to get better about that. And one of the things I've been doing is reading more. And I think in my next vlog, I'll probably get more into exactly what my reading system is, but on the whole, I'm trying to read more. Last year, I really started to try to make more of a concerted effort to read about midway through the year, and I finished 25 books in 2017. So starting at the beginning of this year, I'm hoping that I can double that since I'm having the whole year instead of half of it, and I've set a goal of finishing 50 books this year, which is about an average of one a week. I'm still keeping up with that. I think this is the 9th week of the year, and I'm almost done with my 9th book of the year. But this book is also an 870-page book, so it's taken a couple weeks. I think I was up to like 7 by week 4 or 5, and then I've just been working on this 8th book, or whatever number book. The book I'm working on, I've been working on for 3 weeks now because it's longer. So I'm doing pretty good with that. I'm also just trying to sort of keep my stuff together, and in general, trying to not put things off that need to be done, trying to get a little bit more mature, and trying to do just a little bit better about, if I know something that has to get done, like a chore around the house, or like I need to, sign up for this race, or pay this bill, or order this thing, or whatever, not putting it off and procrastinating, and just doing it. Doing the thing that needs to get done when it needs to get done. And while, it seems like the hurdle to start that process is, big, when you're sitting there, and you're like, I'm gonna take the trash out. It feels like a giant hill that you have to overcome. But as soon as you actually just decide to do it, you realize, oh, this was a little tiny speed bump, and it wasn't hard, it wasn't difficult, it wasn't anything important. So it just seems so much more of an inconvenience before you actually do it. So I've been trying to get better about that. I'm trying to do better about being healthy. This is sort of related to another number goal that I set for this year. I've sort of played around with the idea of trying to run 1,000 miles in 2018, which averages out to about 80 to 90 miles a month on average. But starting from where I am now and working up towards longer races, the latter half of the year would have many more miles per month than the beginning half of the year. All that being said, I'm still very behind. I haven't been very good over the 2 months of 2018 so far about running, so I need to get that in gear. But I'm thinking about also trying to make 2018 the first year that I run a marathon. I ran my first half marathon, my first and only half marathon in 2016. I signed up for a half marathon in the summer of last year, and it was a disaster. I'm sure I talked about it on the vlog at some point. But it was not very good, and that sort of just killed the rest of 2017 for me. I didn't run for like a month and a half, and I lost all motivation, and it just sort of set me into a downward spiral in terms of my running, and I haven't, just barely started to recover from it. So I've still only done one half marathon, but I'm hoping that if I, make a concerted effort throughout this year to do it, I'll be able to do a marathon towards the end of this year, maybe in like October or November. So that's very exciting. I'm also just trying to do better about, this is sort of related to, keeping my stuff together, trying to keep the apartment tidy, trying to just, not let things go and try to keep on top of things. And it makes life a lot better and a lot more enjoyable, a lot more pleasant. Sitting in the living room or the bedroom or the kitchen, when it's neat, is so much, it's just, you feel like a giant psychological weight lifted compared to when everything is cluttered, or at least I do. Trying to cook in a messy kitchen is just stressful. The act of existing in that situation is stressful. And so eliminating that really leads to a better quality of life. So those are some things that I've been working on. Like I said, Brian, I'll probably spend the next vlog talking a little bit more about my reading system, but I just wanted to get this out there. Apologize for being super, super late, but maybe we can get back onto a routine schedule. I also just wanted to say I had a really great time yesterday. Lulu and I came over to y'all's house, and we all had dinner together, and then we played Roll for the Galaxy after dinner, which ended up actually being really, really fun. It started off seeming like it was going to be really complicated and have a lot of rules that would be hard to follow, but it ended up being really, really enjoyable, so I'm really glad I had that experience. I know we mentioned yesterday that we need to figure out something else to do because when we were watching all the Star Wars movies, we had a ready-made excuse to hang out often, and then we don't have that. We need to figure out something so that we can still hang out often, because I have missed that over the last few weeks, so hopefully we can figure something out soon. So I think that's it for this vlog. Brian, it feels interesting to be saying that again after 2 months of not having done a vlog. But yeah, I hope you liked this. I hope it was fun and entertaining to watch, and I look forward to seeing your vlog at some point, maybe later this week. Have a good night.